What's up guys, CG Inferno here, and today is another review, and this is for Mina the Hollower, which is a new game that's about to come out. And yeah, I've been playing it for the past couple weeks, and safe to say I've enjoyed my time with it, even though it's like very on the old school side of like the aesthetics and everything. It's actually been quite enjoyable for the most part. Now, this review is not going to be too long, so I'm just going to go over the story a bit, the gameplay, the music and all of that stuff, and I'll give you my recommendation of whether or not you should buy the game or not. So for the story for Mina is basically you are playing as a female named Mina who is on a boat, who's currently on her way to meet someone, and then is attacked by a kraken of all things, funny enough. And then obviously try to fight the kraken, doesn't work out, then your ship gets wrecked. You're on land, and now you basically have to make it on foot to whoever you're supposed to meet, and then deliver them the message that something is about to go down. Now, I'm not going to go and spoil the whole story because obviously spoilers and everything, but for the most part the story was done quite well. Once you get past the initial, I guess, first level in a sense, as I would call it, then the game pretty much opens up. You're basically tasked to go to like 6 different areas, and then it's at your discretion on which one you want to tackle first. It's not one of those games that say go to this one first, go to that one second. Like literally you can just go in any order you want. Obviously some areas are going to be a bit more tougher than others, but you know, that's just the joy of this type of game. Now, how long it took me to beat the game took me about 20 or so hours to beat, which is quite on the long side considering that I did die quite a few times, and then I was obviously exploring, getting lost here and there, and just enjoying myself in the world itself. So honestly, I didn't know what to expect from the story, but I actually enjoyed it for the most part, which is quite surprising because usually when I play these types of games, the story is not always the best, but not the worst. But in this case, yeah, they definitely got a good story going on. Now, the gameplay for Mina is essentially old school, very, very, very old school. So a fair amount of you might be looking at this and be thinking, yo, what type of gameplay is this? But for the people that are born in the early 90s, 80s, 70s, basically, you know, the boomers as everyone will call us, right? This is just basically playing like the old school Zelda games, but instead of it plays like that, but in terms of the difficulty, it is like, I would say, on the Dark Souls kind of side. And I know when people hear that word, oh, here we go, Dark Souls like, and blah blah blah, but don't get it wrong, like it still has its charm, right? It's not Souls like and all of that stuff. Like literally, when I mean Dark Souls, I mean like the enemies can literally 2-3 shot you and you're dead. That is it. Obviously when you go through the game, you can get trinkets and stuff to basically help you gain like more defense, more attack, new abilities, everything, all of that stuff. And yeah, it's just safe to say that you are gonna die quite a bit in this game. Now, the game does have like modifiers that you can do to like make it easier or harder, which kind of ruffled a few people's feathers, but to be honest, I don't see why people are getting pissed at it, because it's literally just an option. You don't have to use it. Now, I didn't use it because I saw no need to, but someone else might see it and be like, okay, you know, maybe this is slightly too hard, let me just turn it down a bit, or maybe it's a bit too easy, let me turn it up a bit, you know. So the option is there, you don't have to use it, but at least the devs are nice enough to say, yo, here it is, you want to use it, if you don't want to use it, go about your way. Now, the gameplay itself, it is definitely going to take some time to get used to, but honestly, once it clicks, then you're good to go. Now, one of Mina's signature abilities, I should say, is basically burrowing onto the ground, which is something that I haven't seen in quite some time. And then the way they do it, it just allows you to go to obviously different areas and stuff and go underground and everything. Hell, even to like go past one of the guards at the part of the game, right? Obviously the game doesn't really tell you that you need to like dig under the ground to like proceed even more, but you know, it's just all those little stuff that actually just makes the gameplay a bit more enjoyable. Because sometimes, I won't lie, some games in today's world kind of hold your hands a bit too much, but this is definitely on the old school side of where, you know, they might give you a little teaser or hint here and there, but apart from that, that's all you're getting. You're literally having to figure stuff out like literally on the go, which is a nice change of pace for me, honestly. But for some people, that'll definitely be a bit on the frustrating side. Now, the combat itself, quite interesting. Now, as I said, it's basically playing like Zelda, or the old school Zeldas, I should say. But in this game, you do start off with, well, you can choose between 3 weapons, I should say. And obviously these weapons always have their advantages and their disadvantages. You got daggers, you got a mace, and then you got a hammer as well, right? Now, I kind of went with the mace because that was basically like probably one of the best weapons out there at the moment, right? Or at least at the start anyway. And yeah, it done me justice, but the way some of these enemies are, oh my god, sometimes I feel like, you know, maybe I should have taken the daggers as well. But that's just the whole game, right? It's just figuring out what's good for you, how to combat some of the enemies, even the bosses as well, because their movesets, like even the first boss that I faced, like first major boss, that moveset, I was like, wow, this is actually quite interesting, you know, nothing too, it wasn't too crazy, but at the same time, like, it can catch you out. So it's basically you just having to be strategic, using your borrow ability, and then, you know, pretty much go for the win from there. Exploration is also a great feature in the game as well. As I said earlier, basically you are just tasked to go, I wouldn't say anywhere you want, but you have the freedom after you finish like the first initial level, right? And then there are like many hidden secrets as well. I found a fair amount, but I believe I missed quite a few as well. Obviously, sometimes you might see like a treasure chest there and you're thinking, right, how do I get there? And then there's like one hidden underground passageway to go and get it and everything. And yeah, if you're basically trying to go for 100%, good luck, because it will take some time. But I know people are dedicated out there, and you know what? I give kudos to the dev team. They've actually made it quite enjoyable to like explore in a video game as well. Now, for those that are curious about New Game Plus, it is there. So, you know, if you want to go through the game again and you want slightly harder challenge, that is an option for you as well. Obviously, you can still use the modifiers as well if you want, if you really want to. But you know, I think by that point you don't need it. But hey, who am I to say that you won't use it, right? Maybe you just want to see how the game plays with it. But yes, New Game Plus is there, and you can do it quite a bit of times as well. So similar to Dark Souls in that sense, that every New Game Plus that you continue to do, it gets harder and harder and harder. Now, the music in Mina honestly surprised me for the most part. Now, obviously, considering this is a old school type of game, you're not going to be expecting like, you know, the music that we hear in today's day and age, right? Bearing in mind some of them is quite questionable, but we'll leave that one for another day. This is obviously going to give you that old school retro feeling, and they really hit the nail in it. Honestly, I enjoyed every single track of it. I am pleased to say that I wouldn't say I hate any track at all. Obviously, some are not as good, but they really done a good job with like a lot of the music, especially the boss tracks as well. I was very surprised by it. Now, considering that they did make Shovel Knight, and I've always heard good stuff about the game, you know, gameplay and music wise, it is a shame that I've still yet to play it, which is probably my bad on that end, but you know, one day I'll get to it. But yeah, music, they done a good job. I really have no complaints about it whatsoever. Even the sound design for the game as well, in terms of like the hit feedback, the enemies, basically everything in the game, you know, it just gives you that old school retro feel, which I know some people really like. Me, I'm a bit indifferent to it, but you know, I'm not gonna say I hate it, but for me, when I was playing this game, I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. Now, that is pretty much the end of the review. So I was going to make this short and sweet, and I'm keeping my word on that, because sometimes I do talk for a very long time. But yeah, if you guys are on the hunt for a new indie game, especially on the old school retro style of Zelda, pick this up. 100% pick it up. Now, if you're on the fence and you're like, oh, you're not too sure, hell, I will still say pick it up. The game is that good, it's that enjoyable. Now, it does take some time to get used to, right? And it is a bit of a slow burner, but once you continue going forward and, you know, can progress in the story, getting more abilities, more weapons and more trinkets and everything, then you'll start to enjoy it a bit more. Obviously, I wouldn't say like try and burn through or anything like on your first day, right? But you know, give yourself a few hours when you're playing the game. Now, personally for me, I was very surprised by this game. You know, for me, it did take a bit of getting used to and to grow on me as well, but I'm happy that I actually stuck through it and finished the game. So yeah, kudos to the team for developing this game. I think it's been about 6 years or so, they said, right? I could be wrong. I think it is 6 years, but they've managed to get out. They've pretty much put out another banger after their Shovel Knight game. So kind of curious what they're going to do after this game. Obviously, this is going to be like how many years into the future for that one, but clearly the team has quite the talent, you know, so I am pleased to say, you know, this game is pretty legit. So yeah, that has been my review, and if you guys got any questions or anything about it, do let me know down in the comments below and I'll try and respond to it. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next video.